Good morning, students. In the today lecture, we will discuss about figure of speech, literary device, या poetic devices. In this, that we also discuss about the major uses of literary devices, identification of literary devices in poems, how they are used, and why a poet, a writer use literary devices in his and her creation. Just see. Figure of speech. A figure of speech is a word or phrase that is used in non-literal way non-literal way to create an interest या effect to create an effect. A figure of speech या a literary device is a word or phrase that is used in a non-literal way. These are used in the way which is non-literal and for the purpose of to create an effect in the language. In other words, these are used in figurative language. These are used in figurative language. The purpose of literary device to create a great effect on the creation in the poems and in the lessons. For example, he built a big boat. He built a big boat, and other example is white as snow. White as snow. Both sentence these are different, and in both there are different uses of literary devices. In the first, you just identify the particular way and particular thing in this sentence. In the second, that you also just see the sense of this sentence, you must think really this is different. In the first, there is the same sound of the words, three words that they create same sound. On the second sentence, white as snow, there is the comparison. There is the comparison of color with snow. That's why there is the great use of literary device. In the first one that I can say that Sarah seven sisters. Sarah seven sisters standing at seashore. At seashore. In this sentence, there is also a great use of alliteration, that the sound of this word is same, again same, again same, and same and same. These are the words that identify that in this sentence there is the use of a literary device. And there are so many literary devices. There are 40, 50 literary devices. But in this lecture, according to class 12th, we will discuss some important literary devices. This topic is important for class 12th students. And in this topic, that all these things will be discussed in a very good way, and I try to explain all the contents and the components of this topic. Now, literary devices. First one is alliteration. alliteration. In Hindi we can say that anupras. Alliteration, the repetition of the repetition of usually initial initial consonant sound in two and more than two neighboring neighboring words and syllables. Just see. Repetition of same sound. The sound the sound is component sound, consonant sound. Repetition of consonant sound in two words and more than two words which are neighboring, which are closely nearby. Where there is the same consonant sound in the closely words, two and more than two, that in the syllables. Syllables means group of words. Group of words where there is the use of the alliteration. For example, just I wrote example, he built a big boat. In this sentence, the word built, this also creating consonant sound. The second word big, that there is the no any need to mind this word, that you also can neglect articles, prepositions and conjunctions. Big, again consonant sound, and boat, this is again consonant sound. That's why there is the use of alliteration. Again, Sarah seven sisters standing at the seashore. In this sentence, this is also a good example of alliteration. Next example, my mother. My mother at 66. This is also an example of alliteration. 66. There is the same sound of the in the words. Next one is metaphor. Metaphor. A comparison of two dissimilar things. Dissimilar things. A comparison of two dissimilar things. Yeah, a comparison between two dissimilar things without words like and edge. Like and edge. There is no any use of like and edge, but there is a comparison between two things and both things are not alike, both things dissimilar. In this sentence, that, that we can identify metaphor. For example, paper seeming boy, paper seeming boy with rat's eyes. with rat's eyes. In this sentence there are two metaphors. In the first, the boy which is too thin like paper, and second, the eyes of the boy are compared to the rat's eyes. That's why there is a metaphor. There is the comparison that the boy is compared to paper, and second, the eyes of the boy is a rat's eyes. But there is no any use of like and edge. Another example: I am titanium. I am titanium. Titanium, a metal, yeah, he is titanium. Titanium, a strong metal, and there is the comparison of a person, we, anyone that compared to titanium. That's why there is a literary device, and the literary device is metaphor. Next one. Third one is personification. Personification. In personification, to describe the non-living things, to describe non-living things as living, as living. In this, non-living things also describe non-living, to describe non-living things as living. For example, sprinting trees. Sprinting trees. It means the trees are like that sprinting. Sprinting means running fast. Running fast. But trees never run. In this is also the word of the first poem, My Mother at 66. When the poet see that at her mother, and after that suddenly she saw outside of the car, and she found that the trees that running too fast with them. That's why sprinting trees, yeah, trees sprinting. This is also a personification, because the trees are personified. These are personified as living objects, living things. Another example, in class 11th, students, you just read the poem The Voice of the Rain. When the poet asks a question to the soft falling shower, the poet make a question to the soft falling shower, and he made a question, Who art thou? At that time, the soft falling shower answered, I am the poem of the earth. I am the poem of the earth. In this word, I is soft falling shower. Soft falling shower. Just you imagine, any shower can speak? No. But the poet make an imagination, and he say that I is the soft falling shower, and replied that I am the poem of the earth. That's why the soft falling shower is personified as a human being. In this way that we can identify personification. Next one is simile. Simile. Comparison of two things with as and like. As and like. There is the comparison of two things, and there in this comparison there are two words that indicate as and like. they identify that there is the simile figure of speech. For example, white as snow. White as snow. In this literary device, there is the particular word as, that we can say that it is so easy. Where, in which sentence, in any sentence, when you find as and like, that you can mark simile. There are so many that all these we'll discuss in the next lecture. Thanks and have a nice day.